afternoon, everybody. Raven Huggins here with Huggins Equipment here in Wagner, South Carolina. Hope you guys are a little thawed out now from the snow, the crazy ice storm we've been having across the country. I know many of my friends in other states like northern Mississippi have been without power for a few days. Luckily, we fared pretty good here. Only had a little bit of ice, a couple spots in town with some snow. It was fun enough to take the kids down there and play in, and they had a good time. But past that, we haven't had any problems. So with that being said, been on the internet a good bit the past couple days. Not much to do with it being below freezing outside. Have a couple appointments tomorrow for machine pickups and checking some out. And I wanted to come out here and make a little video for YouTube for you guys. The past few days, I've seen a bunch of comments and posts in the group. They're talking about they don't understand why people would spend more money on the Hawaii machines with them being a good bit more expensive. A lot of them say all the TPM 20s or the SDLE or insert whatever name here. Those auction diesels here are just as good of machines as what they're going around telling everybody. So I just wanted to make a little video here comparing some differences. First, we're going to look at the TPM. TPM here, I've sold a few of these machines and they're great for homeowners and stuff if you're not wanting a gas, if you just want a diesel. But if you're wanting something truly professional, you need to look into one of the better quality units. Number one, the fit and finish on these machines. Just check out the door there. This is how they come out of the container. Nothing lines up, can't close them. As you can see, you got rough spots all over your drive motors already. And no, this machine has not been sitting outside. I just pulled it outside today. Here you got exposed drive motors, single speed. You've got cheap thin sprockets there. 7-inch wide tracks. These are only 7-inch wide tracks on this machine. Paper floor mat. All of your hoses and stuff are actually exposed here to the elements, so you can see all the rust forming on top of your spool valve block there. Again, I made another video on this machine where on the Yanmar, there's no dipstick, there's no oil filter on this side of the engine. You have to get to it on the front side. Luckily, on the updated one here, they did add a kick panel, so that way you can remove it and get to it. But just check out the quality of these. Check out that overflow tube there. It's like plastic, just sitting there rubbing on the alternator. Cheap seat, you know, not very comfortable, not very plush at all. Body panels, again, they just like add on an extra welded piece onto there or something to try to cover up some exposed stuff. Do have hose protection on your hoses that go through your pinch point there. Your blade is pretty standard. It's not boxed in, it's just a single stamp. They just have a extra piece welded on the outside here to make it look thicker. This is a U-boom design, so the hoses do run through the boom. You have the Chinese style grease fittings on here where they're just the push-in type, so you got to have an attachment to work that. Here on this side of the machine, you don't have access because this is where your hydraulic tank and fuel tank are. You do have two separate tanks here. I've had some people who've gotten those mixed up and accidentally put diesel in the hydraulic, or either put hydraulic in the diesel tank, and it's been an issue for some people who wouldn't take the time to figure out which one it was, but that's neither here nor there. Do have a couple of electronic gauges, just your hour meter and a temperature gauge there. So there is no fancy screen or nothing like that on this model. Like I say, this is just the regular drive motor, so it is single speed. It's very slow driving around. Whenever you come up to the SHY machine, if you take a look here, you have real planetary drives, and these are not the fake ones. These are actually planetary drives where they have an oil fill and oil level. They're serviceable. So at certain, service intervals, you have to change the gear oil in there like a differential. This one does have expanding and retractable tracks. And if you take a look at the frame, it is a kind of a fabricated, boxed in design, the way the frame is built on these machines. And on all the cheaper machines, even the homeowner style Hawaiis, these are just angle iron steel, plate steel. I mean, maybe a 1/4 inch thick. There's no real structure to it. It's just a plate and some steel angle iron welded together. It's kind of like the difference on lawnmowers, where you have a stamped lawnmower deck and they're not as heavy duty, and then you have the commercial grade fabricated decks where they are built for severe duty and they're made to last a lot longer. So here on this machine, you have all standard grease fittings. You have swing up pilot controls. So getting on and off here is a lot more easier. Of course, this one does have swing boom. They both have swing boom, hydraulic thumb, but the thickness is non-comparable. You have a very thick plate steel thumb there. You have a kind of thin, long tooth thumb there. So, it's common on all these machines, your thumbs can get beat up with abuse and bent up. That's, not machine specific. Something that is machine specific though is on all SHY models, all your hoses are in extra hose wrap through a sleeve through all the pinch points. And like I say, you have your fuel fill here, which is made into the body at an angle design. So putting fuel in the machine is a lot easier than trying to lift it up on the top like you would have on the cheaper ones. Now your hydraulic tank fill is under these bolts, so you do have an extra step to get to that, but that does keep the top of your tank out of the weather there. As you can see, big cast iron counterweight here on the back. That's an extra 250, 300 pounds. And then here on the TPM, nothing. Which is funny because they put strong rear counterweight on the advertisement, but there's nothing there, guys. This thing here, solid cast, beefy. This is a 49-inch wide stance on this guy. It is the same stance as the SHY 20 is. On your fixed width TPM there, it is a fixed width 43 inches. Like I said, I'm gonna give you a shot of the back. Underneath there, you can see that plate steel just welded and one tube underneath for trying to make some stability there. Look over here on the SHY 15. You have your drive motors are planetary, so they're way more low profile. And like I say, you have that completely boxed in frame design there that you slide in and out of for your expanding tracks. And like I say, the doors on the Hawaii, they lift up, they're secure, they don't flop all around, everything lines up, everything is neat and tidy. All of your wiring there, and like I say, your oil dipstick is right here, your oil filter's right there. You don't have to go to the front of the machine and take extra panels off to try to get to anything. Your fuses, glow plug, controller there, everything's very easy to get to. Even your starter is right there. Air filter, like I say, you do have that sound deadening on the hood there. Close it down. Watch how easy this is to close. Boom, it's locked, not going anywhere. Got these big air vents into the body, which is nice. Another big thing that's nice is all these panels are bolted from the outside. So getting to anything, if you had a leak or loose hose you need to get to, You can strip this thing completely down from the outside of the machine in literally no time at all. Like I say, there's a look at your boom cast knuckle. It is all one piece made, and it is very heavy duty and thick. I mean, just take a look at the thickness of the materials here, even the plate steel that the connector is, connected to there in your boom knuckle. Very thick stuff. Here on the TPM, it is much, much, much thinner. And like I say, your cast knuckle here for your swing boom is just welded plate steel. So you have a plate steel that was cut out, I don't know what that is, but it's not very thick. Same where it connects to the machine, it's not very thick. Here where your swing cylinder bolts to, wow, that's very quality there, guys. No bushings, rust. Only thing holding it on there is those wheels. I have seen stuff break, especially the wheels down here for the mounting points on the cylinder for the blade. You do have your grease fittings there, which are standard grease fittings for your swing motor and your turntable gear. So like I say, guys, these are some differences on these machines. As far as stability goes, the SHY 15 is a much heavier machine than one of these. They advertise call a 20 a 3,100 pound operating weight, but then when you actually put this machine on a scale, it's more like 2,500 pounds. So 2,500 pounds versus 3,400 pounds, you've got a 900 pound difference in added material to two similar products that look kind of the same if you look at them from a distance, or just look at pictures online. But when you see one in person, everything is much more beefed up. The things on them are braced a lot better. Actual pins. The SHY 15 does come with a semi-auto quick hitch there. It's good if you're changing attachments a lot. Like I say, I don't really recommend them if you're doing hard digging, if you're digging up roots or stumps, or if you're out there in rocks. Now, like I say, the SHY 15 has 9-inch wide tracks, so it is much more, spread out footprint than on these 7-inch wide tracks here. So you would make less damage in a yard or something going with the wider tracks. Also, the ones on here are longer as well. I know these are a full 60 inches. So you're looking at 5 feet of track there. And here on the TPM, you might have 4.5, 5 feet there. Without pulling a tape measure, it's hard, but anyway, no foot pedal drives on the TPM. These two pedals here control your hydraulic thumb and your blade. And like I say, you control this all with your hands. Don't have a swing up pilot, you just have a lockout here. Battery cutoff switches here. As far as foot room, it's got good foot room. Can't complain about that. But just for the people out there who say you shouldn't spend more on a better product, well, that doesn't make any sense. They cost more for a reason. It's not that have the same machine here as the TPM, painted a different color and try to sell you something for more expensive. That's not how it works. These machines are pricey because they have premium quality features on them. Your floor pan here is not all open. Can't see the top of the valves. Stuff can't get rusted, they're protected. You got feet pedal here. Nice quality foot pedals for your swing boom, your hydraulic thumb. Just better quality everything on these machines. Like I said, I can't hardly keep them in stock. I just got these 3 SHY 15 back in last week. One sold, delivered it on a truck. That one there is already sold, took a deposit on it. It is going out Thursday once he had to move some money over, and I'm delivering that machine. This SHY 15, someone is coming out in the morning to take a look at and probably taking it back home with them. H15 over there, I've had multiple interested, waiting on some buyers. TPM 20 there, multiple interested. One thing that I have found that's kind of ironic in this business is the cheaper machines, especially the auction machines now that are such lower price and lower quality. The people that, come out to look at that machine, they will ask you a million questions and talk to you forever and then never come out and take a look or actually want to buy it. And then I have the Hawaii lineup where all these machines are much more expensive. And it seems like, people know what they want. They do their research, and when it comes time to buy, they just buy. They don't waste your time. So that's been a nice change of pace in these machines. I did get in some new branded ones here. These are called Nuomans. These are a diesel machine around 3,100 pounds. No comparison to the Hawaii's in quality. So these would be more like Hawaii's consumer line. So they just have the gear pumps, do have diesel engines, pilot controls, have all the features that you will want. Come in at a little bit cheaper price, but coming out of different factory. They are nice machines, nice build quality. I don't have complaints about that. The only thing you won't know until the future is support and service from them when it comes time to need parts. So that is something that's going to be announced. But talking with them, it doesn't seem like they have much problem warranting things. So we'll see how that goes. I still have some Hawaii HY18Bs in stock. I've got 2 of those machines left. So if anybody's interested in a consumer model without the piston pump or the expanding tracks, if you just want a diesel machine that is built pretty well and you just want it to work and do everything you want, these are on a good deal right now, down from dealer price around $14,000. These are on sale for $13,500. Still come with the dealer 3-year powertrain warranty. And like I say, I do have 2 of those here in stock. Just one SHY 10 left, sold one last week. So I have to get some more of those back in on my truck. Just wanted to update you guys on some things going on here. And also the SHY 20s. So I have a list of people, probably 2 miles long it feels like, who are waiting on more SHY 20s to come back in. From my understanding, what has happened, they had some containers that were pulled for inspections, and they actually got sent back due to some manifest issues. So if, people with them loading the containers up, if they leave a pack of cigarettes on the floor, or something falls out of their pocket or anything, if it's in that container and if it's not on that paper that Customs has for the list of things that are supposed to be in there, they will send that puppy back to where it came from. And as you guys know, it's a long process for containers going across the ocean on the slow boat. So hopefully we'll get some more SHY 20 back in soon. I know there's going to be a rush of people wanting them and needing them come springtime. For you guys out there who have been trying to make the decision between the SHY 20 and the SHY 15, I recommend the SHY 15 100%. I haven't had a single issue out of any of the ones that I have sold yet. And, it is a little bit lighter. I think about 300 pounds lighter than the SHY 20, but it does have the swing up armrest there where the SHY 20 does not. The SHY 20 does have the D902 Kubota engine, where this one has the D722, but they're still 3-cylinder diesel Kubota engines with the same warranty. The D902 just has a little bit more displacement, so it has a little bit more torque. But the D722s have been awesome, and they don't feel underpowered at all. So I think the SHY 15 is a great choice. You can spend a little bit less money on the SHY 15 versus the 20, and then also you have a greater range of attachments. So the SHY 15 takes the 25 millimeter attachments, which all the other ones, 2 tons or less, take. So you don't have problems finding the attachments for the SHY 20 with the 30 millimeter pins. So guys, that's all I have for today. Just wanted to address these issues that I'm seeing out on the groups and stuff about, well, you should just buy a $10,000 or $11,000 TPM or SDLE. Well, the main thing is the build quality is way different. Gear pump on the cheaper ones, you cannot multifunction. The piston pump on the SHY models is game changing for these machines. It's what every name brand out there runs. So they operate like a name brand, and they will work like a name brand. Where your gear pump machines, you are limited on movements, doing multiple functions at one time. You can't drive it and move the boom. Your controls just kind of go dead because the drive motors are taking up all the flow. Whereas on the SHY models with the piston pumps, the diesels, you can drive it with your feet down a ditch bank and still be able to move your bucket and your boom. And that comes in really handy out there in the field when you're doing things with these machines. So guys, if you have any questions or concerns, or if you like the units, please drop me a subscription. Subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it. We're trying to get up to that 500 subscriber mark on YouTube. And like I say, you guys have my website, hugginsequip.com, and y'all have a great day.